I sing the song.
I don't even know why I try anymore. Even know I don't even know why I try anymore. Even anymore. I don't even know why every truth came wrapped in lies. I kept believing what you sold. Turned my heart into your home. But every crack inside these walls shows the truth behind it all. I tried to fix what you denied, but truth can't live where secrets hide.
is boring! Oh my God! Boring! That's all I got. That's all I got. We need him ice cold tonight, chat. We need him ice cold tonight. We're going to the beer garden. Serving them up. I want to get there on this boring Wednesday night. I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? See you over there. Boring! This isn't about errors. It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters: long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Wednesday night Dynamite post show for your July 22nd, 2026. I'm your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Wednesday evening, wherever you may be. I'm flying solo tonight. Clearly, there is not a gentleman sitting to my right, your left. Or maybe it is your right. Wherever he shows up on your screens. He's not here. Jesse's not here. Jesse's not here. Gave him the night off. He texted me around 12:30, 1 o'clock this afternoon. He wasn't going to be able to make the stream tonight. He is with the family, and he is celebrating his twins' 11th birthday. They turn 11 tonight. deserves another round of applause, and I need you to be a little bit more enthusiastic, okay? I need you to be a little bit more enthusiastic. There you go. 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 So, shout out to Jesse and his twins' 11th birthday today. Jesse and Jasmine, they're celebrating their birthdays today. And I want to wish the family a great day. Happy birthday. And Jesse's family is my family. Jesse's family is your family. And we are Jesse's family. So, hopefully he had a good night tonight and hopefully he relaxed. Hopefully he did the thing today and everything was great, and we'll see him back here next week. So enjoy the night off, brother. We love you. And you didn't miss much. You didn't miss much of anything, believe me. We'll see Jesse next week. Where do I even begin, chat? Where do I even begin? You know, every Tuesday I sit with Jonathan Coachman. Love the coach. Coach and I have been killing it on Tuesday mornings. 2 Count is great. There's nothing like it in the community. If you miss it every Tuesday, shame on you. Shame on you. We prepare. We come with the truth. We're honest. We're upfront. We're blunt. We are unapologetically ourselves. And if you guys want to see me in a setting where I'm not overly agitated, sometimes I am, depending on the topic. It's a great show. Quickest hour in pro wrestling. Every Tuesday, I look at the comments. Every Tuesday, I look at the chat. Oh, my, JD. Why is there only one AEW topic, JD? There's not enough AEW on this show, Coach. JD. This is a WWE Fed show, JD and Coach. When AEW gives me something to talk about, then I'll add another topic to the rundown of the 2 Count. When AEW gives me something to sink my teeth into, when AEW gives me a story, then maybe I'll add a second topic. Maybe. Why is the wheel up? The wheel is up. I just noticed the fucking wheel is up. Nobody, listen, what is going on here, man? Nobody told me the wheel was up. I look over, the fucking wheel is up, man. What's going on here? What, someone sleeping on the job? We need a clean stream, man. Everybody's streaming from their fucking bedrooms with their $5 fucking Walmart curtains. Give me a break, man. We got an image to uphold over here, bro. When AEW gives me a story, then maybe I'll add a second topic, or maybe even a third topic. Maybe 1 week, AEW may dominate the headlines when we go live on the 2 Count Tuesday morning. Oh, AEW's been the best promotion over the last 18 months, JD. What exactly do you have to call AEW the best promotion over the last 18 months? And against whom? Danhausen? A WWE right now that creatively is borderline nearing Vince McMahon levels of garbage. That's what you're competing against. And yet still, they can't grow their audience. And yet still, they can't give me a story. And yet still, they can't get any momentum for themselves. When AEW gives me something to talk about, when AEW gives Coach something to talk about, genuinely, and we are genuinely excited about it, then we'll add more topics on the 2 count. What would you like us to talk about? How many fucking wrist locks Swerve Strickland did to AR Fox on AEW Collision at 9:45 p.m. on a Saturday night? What would you like me to talk about? How many buckets of blood Kyle Fletcher bled in a random international championship match on AEW Rampage? That's canceled. I'm sorry. I can't tell the difference. Rampage, Collision, it's all the same shit. Right? You can level them, it's the same shit. Yeah, it's the same show. It's the same show. Oh, but the story takes place in the ring, JD. No. We're not going there. We're not going there. Nothing takes place in the ring. I need dialogue. I need weeks of television. I need weeks of build-up. Then I get the match, which is the accent to the story. Nobody wants to hear about AEW. AEW content is bottom-of-the-barrel content. The streams that you see on social media and on YouTube, there's very few of us even still remaining. The only people that are remaining are me and the Solo Monster, and everybody else is basically giving it up. The only other people alive are fucking Righteous Reg and Denise Salcedo. And nobody's watching Denise and Righteous Reg. Oh my God, man. That's hilarious, man. The fact that they even have an audience, man, is unbelievable to me. But I digress. When they give me a story, then maybe we'll get excited and talk about it. Chad, how many stories did you get on tonight's show? How many stories did you get on tonight's show? How much dialogue did you get on tonight's show? Did anything get forwarded? Did anything progress? 0? Up until the main event, maybe? 0? Yeah, that's what I thought. It took us 2 hours and 7 minutes to get any semblance of a story. And then what we got was a shoving match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay torn between teacher and best friend. Then the Young Bucks come out there and they do a last-minute pitch job, last-minute sales job with their tag team match against Ospreay and Moxley at the pay-per-view. Kenny Omega then torn because his friend and Will Ospreay's battling his other best friends. It took us 2 hours and 7 minutes, chat, to get a story on Dynamite. On the go-home show for legitimately the most worthless, biggest waste of time pay-per-view maybe in pro wrestling history. And if it's not in pro wrestling history, it certainly is in AEW history. And ranks very high on the list of the most worthless waste of time pay-per-views of all time. There's legitimately nothing, and I stress to you, nothing on this show that will have any sort of consequences leading into All In. It is legitimately a stopgap, and then everybody else is going to move on to something else going into Wembley Stadium. They got 9 matches on this show that they're charging you $50 for. And nothing on this show even comes close to telling a story outside of Jon Moxley, Will Ospreay, and Kenny Omega. And they're not even in the fucking match together in the main event. Kenny Omega's defending his championship against Kevin Knight. How anybody could expect to pay $50 for that in the main event, I mean, you got to be out of your fucking mind. You're better off giving me the fucking $50. Genuinely. Tony Khan has booked 9 matches for this show, has less than 6,000 tickets out the door in a building that sits 19,000. Come Sunday, I will not be ordering the pay-per-view. I'm not giving them my money. I've given them my money for every pay-per-view legitimately up until this point. I am watching the show and covering the show through other avenues, through other means. Whether that's borrow somebody's login, or maybe I just find the show online and pay $0. I'm not giving them my money. This company and this show ain't worth my money. This is a quick money grab for AEW because fuck the fans. Because Tony wants to play matchmaker and fuck up all of his creative going into the biggest pay-per-view that he has all year. That is not something I am willingly going to shell out $50 for. Because you fucked up creative and you made the wrong decision. Now we, the fans, have to pay $50 and pay the consequences for your fucking mistakes. Not happening, pal. Not happening. You can take that $50 and shove it right up your fucking asshole. Ain't coming from me. I don't know how many times I can repeat myself. All the AEW sickos, they're all in every thread that is talked about in regards to this topic and MJF losing the championship. MJF losing the championship at Beachbreak was the wrong decision. It was the wrong decision. MJF going into the pay-per-view this coming Sunday as the world champion was the right decision. I don't give a fuck who booked this outcome and who booked this string of events. I don't care. And we got a report on that Fightful put out, and they should be fucking ashamed of the fact that they're shielding Tony Khan in this latest report because, as far as I'm concerned, Tony Khan is the head booker. He lets everybody know how many hats he wears in the company. Yet they want me to believe that Maxwell Jacob Friedman is the man in charge of the creative department in AEW. MJF winning the world championship back at Double or Nothing should have never, ever, ever, ever resulted in him losing the AEW championship on a random Dynamite in the month of July, a month away from your biggest show of the year. Especially when you had laid the groundwork for a pay-per-view called Redemption. Kenny Omega and MJF wrestled at Dynasty in April. MJF beat Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega's been on television and several times over mentioned the word redemption in promo, claiming he's going to come after the world championship again in one last push to be the world champion. They made this pay-per-view for him. They legitimately titled this pay-per-view for Kenny Omega. Now, whether he wins it at Redemption or not is a completely different story. I urge you to look at the details and look at the string of events. MJF winning the championship only to lose it to Kenny Omega at a random episode of Dynamite is the wrong move. Now, we chalked that up to they wanted to pop a cheap rating, which they did. It's the second biggest rating they did all year, I believe. And MJF loves when he pops a rating because he's the only guy that does pop a rating. Oh, but they popped a bigger rating the week after, JD. And MJF wasn't on the show, JD. Yes, because the show that MJF appeared on was so good that everybody sat there waiting for the follow-up, and they failed. Dynamite last week was one of the worst Dynamites of the entire year. So whatever goodwill AEW had accumulated, that disappeared into thin air. Poof. Smoke. Vanishing in the Jacksonville night. Terrible, terrible show last week. I didn't know what I was watching. I had more fun picking apart their fucking ridiculous, stupid, half-witted, half-assed creative than actually pointing out any sort of positive on the show, which was barely anything. MJF walking into Redemption was the best plan. They wanted to pop a cheap rating on Wednesday night because they realized they're not going to have a home in 6 months. Paramount Warner Brothers was just okayed over in Europe. Judges in Europe okayed the acquisition, which means it's probably going to end up being the same thing here in North America. Paramount is buying Warner Brothers Discovery, and Paramount buying Warner Brothers Discovery means not good for AEW. Like Nick LaPiccolo says, get ready for YouTube. It doesn't matter what ratings you pop. It will mean nothing at the end of the day. Paramount doesn't want AEW, nor will they be keeping AEW. And if they keep AEW and have them ride out the rest of their years under this existing deal, they ain't coming back. Get ready to learn YouTube. They popped a cheap rating instead of popping a big pay-per-view number. I feel cheated as a fan. Now, we know Max loves his ratings because he's the only ratings draw on that show. Everybody else, as soon as Will Ospreay becomes the new champion, ratings are going down. Will Ospreay, his name attached to the main event across several main events this year, drew some of the lowest ratings in AEW's entire year. Kenny Omega's a different story. Everybody loves Kenny Omega. Everybody realizes that this is Kenny Omega's last ride. This is his last world title run. This is his last all-in the main event. He's slowly winding it down as far as a career. But as a fan, I don't know how you don't feel cheated because they'd rather pop a cheap rating for absolutely no reason so that Meltzer could go out there and lie and brag and fucking boast about how hot AEW is. That's all they do it for. Now we, the fans, are getting gypped out of a pay-per-view that basically means nothing at the end of the day. They want you to shell out $50 for a card that includes Bandito and Kyle Fletcher, and the match was built up because Bandito slammed a wanted poster into Kyle Fletcher's chest. A pay-per-view that has Andrade El Idolo challenging Mark Davis for the AEW National Championship. This is what we're paying $50 for. You know what I would have gladly paid $50 for? MJF versus Kenny Omega in the AEW World Championship match, headlining Redemption, like the original plan called for. That's what I would have paid $50 for. A match like that, a main event like that, has my money 7 days out of the week. An MJF main event match has my money 7 days out of the week. Now look at what we're getting, chat. Kevin Knight versus Kenny Omega. So, to reiterate, taking the belt off MJF at Beachbreak was the wrong decision. I don't give a fuck who booked it, who called for it, who asked for it, whose opinion it was. I don't care. It was the wrong move. Kevin Knight versus Kenny Omega in the main event is not worth $50. MJF still holding the AEW World Championship going into Wembley Stadium was the right call. Kenny Omega didn't need another World Championship. Just like Darby Allin didn't need the World Championship. We're right back in the same boat with what we did there. They manufactured something out of thin air in 2 weeks, and then everybody cried it was like a great moment. Bro, it came about in 2 weeks because they wanted to pop a cheap rating. And they wanted shock and awe because they had nothing going on, nothing else going on elsewhere. You can sit there and look me dead in the face and say, well, JD, Ospreay and Omega is the biggest main event they got. No, it's not. The biggest main event that they have is the one that they're not doing. There's legitimately nobody that's going to convince me otherwise that Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay is a bigger match than MJF and Will Ospreay, or MJF, Will Ospreay, and Kenny Omega in a triple threat match, which would have been the best course of action if you wanted to include Omega. Oh, but they sold 3,000 tickets upon the announcement of the match. Yes, that's when they still had 50% off tickets, a month and a half still left to go. Give me a fucking break. Just like WWE. Oh, but CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, they're selling tickets. No, they ain't selling shit. SummerSlam's selling tickets because WWE lowered the prices to $25 a ticket. It has nothing to do with who's on the show. If WWE had announced all that already and it's been on the card for 2 weeks, Ben Brock's been on the card inside Hell in a Cell for 3 weeks now, and they're not selling tickets? Nothing is selling tickets. We waited 2 hours and 7 minutes for whatever story they told in the main event with Ospreay, Omega, and Moxley. The rest of this show was an absolute snooze fest. An absolute snooze fest. This entire show from top to bottom doesn't have one captivating character that I legitimately care to watch on a weekly basis. No characters. Oh, but this is where the best wrestle. I don't know why you can't have this is where the best wrestle and also give me some good stories to go along with it. You know what would make where the best wrestle better? Stories. Which right now they are doing very little of. And if they are doing stories, it's being done poorly. There was a report that went out by Fightful today. And this may be the biggest defensive maneuver that Fightful has put out, shielding Tony Khan from any sort of criticism. MJF was the driving force behind upcoming Kevin Knight and Kenny Omega match at Redemption. Really now? That's very interesting. Let's see what Sean Ross Sapp was told to put out behind a paywall. Fightful Select had reported that the match was going to be the World Championship match move for the pay-per-view after Kenny Omega won the title from MJF. It was also noted that MJF would be taking some time off from AEW television. Yes, he's banged up, but he's not injured in the way fans are claiming he's injured. I'm not running with that narrative. That narrative, to me, is just a cheap excuse hiding bad creative. I don't believe it for a second. Guy wrestled in a steel cage match at Forbidden Door with fucking 11 other guys. He wrestled Mark Briscoe the following Wednesday on Dynamite in a 20-minute match that opened that specific episode. And then he wrestled Kenny Omega in a 25-minute main event match at Beachbreak. Now, if MJF is injured, it's injured very, very slightly. the knee, is injured very slightly. And MJF is going to push through it because MJF is a company guy. MJF is a trooper. But MJF ain't missing all in. MJF will be back after Redemption. You got Andrade parading around with his Dynamite diamond ring, which is cause for MJF coming back to television. Whether that happens at Arena Mexico at Grand Slam or that happens at Wembley Stadium at All In. He'll be back on television. Fightful had reported that this was the match after MJF lost the title. Kevin Knight and Omega at Redemption. It was also noted that MJF will be taking some time off. However, his influence is still felt. We're told that MJF was a driving force creatively behind the idea of Kevin Knight taking on Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship at Redemption. He long wanted whoever was the TNT Champion to challenge Kenny Omega after beating him for the title. We're told that didn't specifically have to be Kevin Knight, but that MJF was in favor of such, as well as Knight joining the Don Callis family. MJF is denied. He pushed for Kevin Knight in the Don Callis family. So let me get this straight. MJF is head of creative for AEW. Is that what we're going with here? I thought Tony Khan was the guy that signed off on all the creative. I thought Tony Khan was the guy that wore 6 or 7 different hats. I thought he was president, CEO, head booker, head troll, hype man, biggest cheerleader, Tony Khan. I thought he was the one guy wearing 6 or 7 different hats. No, but it's MJF who's the leading creative force, the driving creative force in all of these situations happening. So what Fightful is putting out is basically, in my honest opinion, throwing MJF under the bus, shielding Tony Khan from any sort of creative, because at the end of the day, whether it was MJF, Tony Khan, Sean Ross Sapp, John Alba, who made this decision, the creative decision that we are getting right now is fucking terrible. It's a bad decision. I would tell Tony Khan that. I would tell MJF that. I would tell anybody that, because him walking into the AEW Championship match at this pay-per-view on Sunday and him walking into All In was the best plan. What this speaks to me as is someone else wanted something else completely different, and MJF wanted to at least have some say on what happens in the interim while he's out. He wanted to control his own destiny. MJF doesn't give a shit where the AEW Championship goes if it's not around his waist. He doesn't. But to throw him under the bus and shield Tony Khan from making this decision, who actually signed off on this? Tony Khan signed off on it. MJF is not running creative. Tony Khan is running creative. Additionally, why is Tony Khan listening to anybody that is not on the writing team? Why is Tony Khan listening to a professional wrestler? Why is Tony Khan listening to someone else in the locker room who's an active part of the roster? Why is Tony Khan listening to one of the boys and booking in accordance to what they want? Shouldn't Tony Khan have vetoed the idea because it was a bad idea? Does nobody realize that what we got is legitimately the same thing going into last year's All Out with Kyle Fletcher and Adam Hangman Page? Legitimately the same thing. The AEW World Champion challenges the TNT Champion. The TNT Champion wants a shot at the World Championship because he feels It's his time. He feels he's a world champion. Adam Page doesn't want the rest of the Don Callis family out there because he wants the real Kyle Fletcher. He believes Kyle Fletcher's a future of the company. He believes Kyle Fletcher is a future world champion. Do it on your own without the Don Callis family. None of it made any sense. Legitimately, nothing made sense. They threw a match together because they needed a main event for All Out. The same thing is happening going into Redemption. Kenny Omega said the same thing to Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight's the TNT champion. Kevin Knight wants a shot at the AEW World Championship because he wants to be Jet 2 belts. And just like Adam Page and Kyle Fletcher, who went nearly 30 minutes because AEW always needs to overcompensate for zero story by giving us a 30-minute match to basically throw it in everybody's face. Look, it was a great match. There was no story, but they went 30 minutes, and Meltzer gave it 6 stars. It's exactly what they're going to do with Kenny Omega and Kevin Knight. It's legitimately a mirror image of what happened with Kyle Fletcher and Adam Page. No, but MJF made that decision. Why is MJF booking a match that doesn't involve him being the world champion? Does anybody find that to be weird? I certainly do. The less you believe the media, the more you will understand that they are nothing more than puppets, shills for Tony Khan and AEW. Tony Khan owns the media. Several outlets are in AEW and Tony Khan's pocket to spew a narrative that Tony Khan wants. This is one of those situations. And quite honestly, it's sad. And nobody's going to speak up about it. Nobody's going to make a fuss about it. None of these people who speak to Tony Khan on a daily basis, none of them are going to tell Tony he's doing a bad job because they don't want to risk losing their media credentials. They don't want to risk losing that connection because they feel a part of something. They feel connected. They feel wanted. They feel desired. They feel important. Tony gives them that feeling, and Tony gets what he wants by throwing up this bullshit report. And none of them, like I said, will speak up about how bad it is because they don't want to lose anything that they have going on right now with that partnership. None of them will tell Tony he's doing a bad job or this is bad, that's a bad move, that's not the way it should be, blah, blah, blah. And what Tony Khan needs is someone to tell him that type of shit, which right now he doesn't. There's legitimately nobody that can convince me that this pay-per-view is worth $50. Nobody. There's nobody that can convince me that Kevin Knight and Kenny Omega was the right move. Nobody can convince me that taking the belt off MJF was the right move. Nobody can convince me MJF not walking into Wembley Stadium is the right move. Nobody. Supposedly, this company is the hottest they've been in 18 months. If you think a show like tonight is the hottest they've been in 18 months, or a show like last week is the hottest they've been in 18 months, motherfucker, you are living in some serious motherfucking denial. Some serious motherfucking denial. The main event tonight was the only thing that had any sort of story whatsoever. There was no dialogue. There was just a shoving match between Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley. Will Ospreay got involved. That's the one thing that we're all going to be looking forward to as far as what's going to come out of this match. How are they going to get tension between each other? Because I'll tell you right now, nobody wants to see, oh, bruv, I love you, bruv. Right back at you, bruv. We are the best in the company, bruv. This is where the best wrestle, bruv. I wanted to be just like you, bruv. I modeled my entire career after you, bruv. I joined New Japan because of you, bruv. I missed out on the Cruiserweight Classic and signing with WWE. All because of you, bruv. I landed in AEW because I wanted to share the same locker room as you, bruv. That will get old incredibly quick. So whatever they're doing now with Jon Moxley, he's going to be the centerpiece of what's going to happen as far as the tension between Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. How that's going to materialize, I don't know. I'm going to need some dialogue. I want to see some backstage segments like we've been seeing. I need to see some segments in the ring. And if you got to WWE it up and give me a promo segment between the two, airing their grievances, then so be it. This is where you really need to nail the story. Going into a match like this, everybody's expecting it to be a great match. If you don't got a story, if you don't tell that story properly, if you don't get people excited about the story, then the match is going to be less than. If you've opted to go with this as your main event, you need to come full circle and you need to stop at every single thing as far as what makes and what builds a great wrestling match. You got to give me that story. You cannot skimp on the story going into a match like this. Ospreay's obviously going to be pulled in both directions. He's obviously got an allegiance and a partnership with Jon Moxley. He's obviously got a trust in Jon Moxley. He's also looking at Kenny Omega as his inspiration, as his influence, as his hero. He's going to be pulled in two directions. Jon Moxley's already told him, you got to do whatever it takes. Take that kill shot. When it stares you in the face, do not hesitate. Go for the kill. Whatever that means. Does that mean Tiger Driver 91 to Kenny Omega at Wembley Stadium? Does that mean there's going to be a Ric Flair Shawn Michaels moment before Shawn Michaels retired Ric Flair, before the super kick? Is there going to be a moment before he puts Kenny Omega away where he's going to have doubt? I don't want to do this. I can't do this. I love you. But he's got to. He's got to do it. If he wants what he's worked so hard for, if he wants to achieve his boyhood dream, he's got to do it. This is obviously also going to lead to a situation where they may have tension going into the match, but Ospreay's love for Omega will always stand true. I don't know what's going to happen in the follow-up. I would assume that Jon Moxley, more than likely, is going to be set up as Will Ospreay's first major feud coming out of Wembley Stadium when he wins the AEW World Championship. How do we go about that? Does Will Ospreay win the championship and then tell Jon Moxley he doesn't need his services anymore because of the relationship that he has with Kenny Omega and the fact that Moxley, he feels, had poisoned Will Ospreay in the lead up to Wembley Stadium? I don't think those things about Kenny. I don't feel those things about Kenny. You're wrong about Kenny. Does Moxley turn on Ospreay because Moxley feels betrayed after everything that Ospreay and him have accomplished? All the time he gave Ospreay to train him for this moment? Or does he just turn on him in typical heel fashion? Pro wrestling one-on-one. He wins the championship and boom, he just turns. Because Moxley lured him in with a false sense of security, got him to the championship, knows everything about Will Ospreay, knows him inside out, knows Ospreay better than Ospreay, knows exactly what he taught him. Keep your enemies close. turns on him. Now that he's got everything he needs to know on Ospreay, now he's just an easy kill, an easy target. Which way is AEW going to go as far as building this feud? Because I assume that's going to be the first feud for Will Ospreay when he wins the championship at Wembley Stadium. So at least as far as the main event goes, they got something. They got something. That's the only thing I'm slightly interested in coming out of tonight's show and going into Redemption. Because Ospreay and Moxley are wrestling the Young Bucks. I don't know what happens there. The Young Bucks more than likely will be wrestling Cope and Christian at All In. They've already talked about it being one of the final dream matches that is still out there for AEW and for them. Why they're not in the tag team title match now, going into Redemption? I think waiting and putting this match on the All-In card and holding off on the Young Bucks is just stupid creative. They are the number one contenders right now. Everything else that you throw at us is predictable shit. Nobody cares about the Death Riders B team and the Death Riders C team going after Cope and Christian. Predictable slop. When we all know the Young Bucks are going to be slotted into that tag team title match at All In. Kyle Fletcher and Okada. Apparently there's something going on there. Okada gives zero fucks about anything right now. He just wants his title back. Takeshita is off in Japan wrestling in the G1 Climax. Kyle Fletcher apparently has got a problem with Kevin Knight as well. He's got a problem with a couple of big guns in the Don Callis family. I don't know what that means for the Don Callis family, but I feel like we've been seeing this same storyline over and over and over and over again. This is basically the same thing that Okada and Takeshita did, that AEW waited 8 months to deliver us on their first match. Now we're doing the same thing with Kyle Fletcher and Okada, and we're just simply waiting for Takeshita to get back so that they can do the triple threat match at Wembley Stadium. We had a women's tag team title match that meant absolutely nothing. And a redemption card that continues to grow because Tony Khan is once again going to overcompensate because he also realizes that this pay-per-view is nothing more than a fucking money grab, and the only people that are going to be interested in this are the diehard sickos that haven't showered in 7 days. This is one of the most worthless pay-per-views in the history of AEW, maybe the most worthless. And I'm talking about some of these recent Forbidden Door shows. This is one of the most nonsensical fucking pay-per-view concepts that AEW has ever created. They created it for Kenny Omega. Now, legitimately, nobody on this show fits the word redemption. Whose redemption are we going to watch? Whose redemption are we interested in going into Montreal? Is Kevin Knight going to get redemption? On who? On who? Why is anybody interested in Kevin Knight's redemption? Period. He just turned heel. Has he done anything dastardly as a heel that you and I care about? Ask yourself that question. What has Kevin Knight done as a heel that gives him this overwhelming interest going into this pay-per-view where people want to see him redeemed? Who? He just turned heel at Double or Nothing. They did a match tonight with Darby Allin and Kevin Knight that probably would have fit the bill for redemption. Darby looking for redemption on Kevin Knight because Kevin Knight turned on him at the end of Double or Nothing. MJF and Kenny Omega would have fit redemption. Now we're left with no redemption for anybody. There's legitimately no redemption up and down this 9-match card on Sunday night. For all the sickos that claim they don't want WWE on their AEW, boy, Tony Khan has given us a fucking WWE fast lane if we ever seen one. This pay-per-view has absolutely no bearing, no meaning, no consequences heading into All In. So what's the point? What is the point? We're going to talk about this show tonight in bare minimum. Thank you guys for showing up tonight. This is your AEW Dynamite post show for your July 22nd, 2026. Appreciate you guys joining me. 10 matches. We have 10 matches? What other matches has he added? I know he added a ladder match. What other matches has he added? This show is starting an hour earlier, and it's going to go the same amount of time. Willow getting redemption because wasn't Thekla part of the reason she was injured? Bro, Willow is not getting redemption. Tony Khan is giving Willow redemption because I don't believe she was really injured. They faked an injury to get her out of the Owen so that they can plug that spot with Mercedes, so they gave Mercedes the Owen, took Willow out of the tournament, had her vacate the TBS title, and promised her a gauntlet match and a title match with Thekla where she'd win the Women's Championship at Redemption. I think I'm pretty spot on with that. I mean, if you're going by what Thekla said on commentary at Beachbreak, she also thinks, in her drunken state, that Willow may not have even been injured. Yeah, didn't Red Velvet injure Willow? Thekla had nothing to do with Willow's injury, guys. Do not believe anybody that's telling you that. Do not believe anybody that's telling you that. We got the VIP wheel tonight. Make sure you guys go and hit that goal, man. We are already 2 out of 10. If you guys hit the goal, everybody that hits the goal tonight, $10 or more, gets an additional spot on the wheel. We'll spin the wheel tonight. It's going to be a tough one tonight because, again, nobody gives a shit about AEW. And I find it funny how, nobody wants to watch JD shit on AEW. Everybody knows it's going to be negative about AEW, so we don't want to watch that. No, you just want to watch people overly glaze a fucking terrible product and tell you what you want to hear. That's the state of the community. Which, if that was the case, there would be somebody else that has a bigger audience than we do on Wednesday night. And I would love for you to go find that person. The only other one covering AEW that has a bigger audience than me is Jim Cornette. Fact. And even he doesn't cover as much as he used to. So the wheel is up. Hit that goal, we'll get the wheel spinning, and you'll get an additional spot on the wheel. We got merch. OTS beer mugs and OTS hat. Don Stoney won the last wheel. His merch got shipped out today. He should get it hopefully by the weekend. Shout out to Don Stoney. Came in late and won the wheel on Monday. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Cameo. Also on Patreon. We got another match review coming tomorrow. We are going to be watching the unsanctioned match from 2002. Shawn Michaels and Triple H. SummerSlam 2002, which was also the best SummerSlam of all time. So we will be watching and reviewing that match. That's only on patrons, or Patreon for the patrons. So if you guys want to sign up to the Patreon and share in what we're doing over there, patreon.com/JD from NY 206. There'll be a Q&A for my Patreons this week as well. So make sure you guys go and sign up. We're doing some big things over there. And then when SummerSlam is over and the classic match review series of SummerSlam comes to an end, I'm going to leave it up to you guys on what you want me to go out there and review. So go and sign up, man. Some good stuff over there. Hit that thumbs up. Strive for 750 likes tonight on the stream. Super chats are open, like I said, with tonight's goal for the VIP wheel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's Dynamite. And go check out all the content on the channel. We were live on Monday for Raw. Really great show. And then Tuesday Night Titans. Great discussion with the Solid Monster. And the coach and myself. The 2 Count. On Tuesday mornings, 11:30. Go and check that out over on his channel. Let's get into this review. We start things off with a backstage promo. Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega are backstage, preparing for their 6-man tag team match with Jon Moxley against the Don Callis Benchwarmers. Ospreay excitedly said he and Omega never lost when they've teamed. Gee, who would have known that statistic, Willie boy? Is that a New Japan statistic that only the Observer has? He told Ospreay to reach out and touch someone if he needs to tag out, since he'll be there for him. Jon Moxley walked in and soaked up the vibe and said, "There's no tension in this room." Moxley left. So Moxley clearly is wanting to cause tension because he wants Will Ospreay to beat Kenny Omega. I believe if Will Ospreay is looking at Kenny Omega as, "Bruv, I love you, bruv. You're my inspiration, bruv. This is going to be a Dragon Ball Z Goku versus Vegeta type match, bruv. Geeks." He feels Ospreay may be weak. Moxley left and Omega said, "Well, there isn't. There's no tension yet. Yet." Start things off with Kevin Knight and Darby Allin. TNT Championship match here. By a show of hands in the chat, there'll be 0. Does anybody expect Kevin Knight to beat Kenny Omega at the pay-per-view? You know, when I want to watch something that they put a price tag of $50 behind, I at least want to be tickled with some unpredictability. Does anybody believe that Kevin Knight stands a chance to win the AEW World Championship from Kenny Omega? And what is the point? Has anybody asked what the point is of putting Kenny Omega and Kevin Knight in the main event? Kevin Knight specifically. Oh, we want to build him up as a future star. Oh, we want to build him up as a world champion in the future. Oh, we as a company want to stand behind someone that we think is a future piece of the company, a future pillar of the company. Didn't we do that with other people on the roster already? Didn't Swerve do that for Kevin Knight? Didn't Ospreay do that for Kevin Knight? Why do we need the TNT Champion to go and wrestle the AEW World Champion? Like I mentioned before, Darby and Kevin Knight fit the Redemption theme by being placed on that show. Kevin Knight and Kenny Omega does not. And if you're playing with the idea of Kevin Knight getting his redemption and playing some angle for Kevin Knight's redemption, I don't know what his redemption is because he just turned heel. Oh, the real Kevin Knight still exists somewhere in there. Who gives a shit? Who cares? He hasn't done anything to even warrant an emotion to turning back to babyface. The reason why they turned him heel is because he wasn't connecting as a babyface. Jet Speed and his partnership with Speedball wasn't getting over. It was a mark tag team that Tony had googly eyes over. Fact. Nobody gave a shit about Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight wasn't getting this resounding ovation everywhere he went. Is he a great wrestler? Yes. Is he flashy? Is he athletic? Is what he does great in the ring? Yes. But in no way, shape, or form is there any interest in him getting his redemption. Over who? And for what? And why? I'm asking these questions, and AEW themselves don't even know what the fuck they're doing. This match went 12 minutes. Commentary made this sound like it was one of the greatest matches of all time, which is par for the course for this fucking commentary team. There was nothing special about this match. Again, they tried, and they were flipping and diving and doing a bunch of acrobatics off the barricade and off the top rope. It's like, bro, this is how they try and generate interest. They overcompensate by doing way too much instead of telling an actual story. The story coming into this is Darby was on a stretcher at Double or Nothing, and Kevin Knight turned heel. He turned heel on Darby. And then Darby went to go get married. Took a few weeks off. He comes back, and we get a steel cage match at Forbidden Door. Kevin Knight grabs Darby Allin's backpack off the top of the cage. It explodes, and he falls through 2 tables down below. And from every moment after that, it's been jackass-like stunts between Darby Allin and Kevin Knight. Exploding backpacks, exploding skateboards, random attacks. Commentary even tried to sell me on the fact that, oh, these two trained at the Buddy Wayne Wrestling Academy. I don't give a fuck. That's not a story. That's an asterisk next to the fucking notes on the commentary team. That's an asterisk on the fucking notes that's sitting in front of them. Oh, they trained at the Buddy Wayne Wrestling Academy. You're not building a story out of that. Who gives a shit? To the sickos, that's the story. Oh, these guys got a lot of history. They trained together. That's not a story. It's a commentary footnote. We'll pick it up after the commercial break. Darby knocked Kevin Knight to the floor, leapt on top of him outside with a coffin drop. Come back from the break. Darby and Kevin Knight collided middle of the ring, double down. They both get up. Knight landed a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, goes for a cover, only gets a 2 count. Knight's up. He flings Darby. Darby knocked over the referee inadvertently. Kevin Knight then clotheslined Darby as he got up and turns around. He goes outside. He pulls the belt off the announce desk. He waited for Darby to stand up. Darby ducked a belt shot, gave Kevin Knight a scorpion death drop. Referee was still down. Darby picked up the belt. He threw it down. Darby's going up top for a coffin drop. Kevin Knight gets up quickly, knocked him off balance, and Darby falls into a tree of woe. Kevin Knight hits him in the back of the head with a belt shot. Darby's in a tree of woe. Kevin Knight goes up top on the opposite side, coast to coast. He goes back up top. UFO splash. Referee finally wakes up. 1, 2, 3. And that was it for the win. So apparently Kevin Knight wanted to win this match without the help of the Don Callis family. But obviously he cheated to win and needed to cheat to win here. Some champion Kevin Knight is. But I guess he's a heel. And it goes hand in hand. Kyle Fletcher walked out. Darby Allin had nothing to do after the match was over. Referee went to go check on him. He was bleeding from the forehead. Of course he was. Kyle Fletcher walks out with the International Championship. He gets into the ring and we go into a commercial. So Kevin Knight's in there. Kyle Fletcher's coming out because he's up next wrestling alongside Okada against Bandito, which, by the way, was announced an hour before the show went live on the air. This was not something that was planned in advance. Renee's in the ring interviewing Kevin Knight, Kyle Fletcher, and the rest of the Don Callis circus is out there. She talked about 3 of them defending their titles on Sunday. Fletcher against Bandito. Kevin Knight's not really defending his championship. He's wrestling for a title, Kenny Omega's title. And then Mark Davis, he'll be defending the AEW national title, which I can't tell the difference between the title that Mark Davis is holding and the one Kyle Fletcher's holding. I mean, you explain it to me, they're both the same fucking thing. So Kevin Knight says he hopes that he becomes Kevin Two Belts. I hope I win the lottery. I hope that Sydney Sweeney knocks on my front door and asks me to go grab a cup of coffee with her. I ask for a lot of things that will never happen. I ask for AEW to be better and tell better stories. I ask for a lot of things. Doesn't mean we get them. He hopes he becomes Kevin Two Belts. So, Fletcher and Kevin Knight get into it. There's tension. There's more tension between Fletcher and Knight than there is Ospreay and Omega. He says he doesn't need help from the Don Callis family to retain his title. He says he's going to talk to Tony Khan to be sure everyone is banned from ringside on Sunday when he defends his championship against Bandito. He says they should do it tonight for their match also. He shoves Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight got in his face. Don Callis family tries to break them up. There's tension here. Bandito and Brody King come on out and make their entrance. So like I said, this match was made literally an hour or less before we went live with Dynamite. So in 14 minutes. Pick it up after the commercial break here. Fletcher and Okada worked to take Bandito down. They shake hands and everything is cordial. Come back after the commercial. Brody gets a hot tag in from Bandito. He immediately sets up for a Gonzo bomb. Okada blocked the Gonzo bomb. He went for a Rainmaker on Brody. Brody blocked that. Okada gave him a neck breaker. Fletcher tags back in. He landed a running kick on Brody. Brody came back with a Uranage for a 2 count. Bandito tags in. He's in there with Fletcher. Fletcher knocked Bandito out of midair off of a big high spot. Bandito came right back with a sunset bomb. He goes for a near fall. He only gets a 2 count. Okada tried to break up the cover, but it looked like Okada got in there late, and it looked like the referee stopped this count just because there wasn't supposed to be an outcome there. Bandito went for a 21-plex on Kyle Fletcher. Fletcher blocked it, landed a half-and-half suplex. Bandito came right back with a big face plant. He popped him up and face planted him down. Face first. Brody landed a cannonball on Fletcher after that in the corner. Bandito then landed a top rope frog splash for a near fall. Okada interferes, breaks up that count. Fletcher super kicked Brody. When Okada went for a Rainmaker, Brody ducked the Rainmaker, and Okada accidentally hit Kyle Fletcher. Brody knocked Okada to the floor and then dove at him. Bandito then gave Fletcher a 21-plex for the win. Bandito, he's the man who asks for title matches and then automatically gets them granted. He would rather wrestle and lose against every champion in AEW than defend his current championship. He's the Ring of Honor World Champion, which I don't really understand. He's your Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Yet he just wrestled Jon Moxley at Forbidden Door and lost for the Continental title. And now he's wrestling Kyle Fletcher at Redemption. What this means for the overall Redemption theme, I don't know. I guess they had to manufacture something, right? And he's going to lose to Kyle Fletcher, and he's going to fail to win the International Championship. If Bandito was so valuable as the Ring of Honor World Champion, why is he going up against other champions and losing? So they had Bandito pin Kyle Fletcher here. I guess they needed a way to justify Redemption and justify this match taking place. It does neither of those things. Kyle Fletcher is not getting redemption on Bandito. No redemption that matters anyway. And the match was made because Bandito walked into the locker room or walked into the backstage area, slammed a wanted poster on Kyle Fletcher's chest, and Kyle Fletcher got mad. But to the typical AEW sicko, this is story. To the AEW sicko on Reddit, this is cinema. What difference does it make, JD? They're going to have a banger match. AEW could shit out banger matches. Do you know what would make those banger matches better? Story. I don't know why we're sending Bandito out there to lose to every other champion when he himself is a champion. Don't you think it lessens his championship? Don't you think it lessens his value as a champion? But I guess it's Ring of Honor, and nobody watches Ring of Honor except for the 16 people that are employed by Fightful Select. Brodito win in 14 minutes. Okada's out there on the outside. He is laughing it up. He's pretending to be worried and pretending to be sorry.
Hey. Shut up, bitches.
That was Okada's attitude tonight. He didn't give a fuck he lost. He just wants his international title back. I don't know why he can't be happy for his family members. Why does he want the international championship back? I mean, I would love an explanation from Okada himself as to why he wants the international championship back. There are so many other championships to go for. Why not go for one of them? Why not have Okada go after Kenny Omega and the AEW World Championship? Wouldn't that have made better sense for Redemption than Kevin Knight? Wasn't it Okada that beat Kenny Omega going into last year's All In? Who books this shit? Oh, that's right, Maxwell Jacob Fraudman. He's the head of creative now, according to Sean Ross Sapp. Gotcha. So we're legitimately through 50 minutes of this show, chat. The only story that we got here is a shoving match between Kevin Knight and Kyle Fletcher, and Okada laughing and pretending to be sorry because he lost the match for him and Fletcher. Riveting stuff. I wonder how many topics so far are going to end up on the 2 count next Tuesday. According to the AEW sickos that populate our chat every Tuesday, we should just make 9 out of 10 topics, AEW topics. Maybe I should ask them, out of these 2 matches that we got tonight, what would you like me to talk about? What's so exciting and so captivating? What's so riveting about what we've seen so far tonight that I got to talk about it with Jonathan Coachman? We got a video package for Chris Jericho and the Painmaker against Tommaso Ciampa. No holds barred. Sunday at Redemption. Jericho said something, but in typical AEW production fashion, the music was way too loud, and I couldn't hear a fucking thing Jericho was saying. Mick Foley. He comes on out. What his role in AEW, or what his role is in AEW, I still don't know or understand. I guess they're using him in these sporadic appearances. He's on a pre-show panel, and then he wants to interview Don Callis and Kyle Fletcher of Beachbreak. Now he wants to interview the women, Willow and Thekla here. I see you guys slowly inching towards the goal. We got 6 out of 10. We need 4 more for the VIP wheel tonight. 4 more for the wheel. So Foley's on the ramp. He's like, hello, AEW sickos. He says he is the hardcore legend, and he'd be overseeing a face-to-face with Thekla, Jesse. Thekla. Yes, Thekla. And Willow. He introduced Thekla first. Thekla said it was good to see Mick. She said she is the AEW Women's World Champion and New Stardom Champion. It's Thekla 2 belts, baby. She urged Foley to introduce Willow so we can get this thing over with. I would have to agree. Willow comes on out, and she said it's great to see Foley and everyone in Nashville. She says it's nice to see Thekla face-to-face instead of with a cheap shot from behind. Willow says there's only one match between her and making her dream come true. Because everybody's dream is to go to Wembley Stadium, which honestly should be the last time they visit Wembley Stadium. Tony's going to keep that gimmick going, so it keeps WWE out of Wembley Stadium, because if there is a London WrestleMania, it will be at Wembley Stadium. And Tony's little fucking safety blanket of the largest pro wrestling show of all time is going to be broken. She said her dream is to become the AEW Women's World Champion. Thekla then mocked the chants of Willow, 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 and sarcastically said it's great to have her back. She said she knows Willow is made of rainbows and chirping birds and sunshine. She said she isn't buying any of that crap. She said she's bottling up her feelings inside and is actually boiling up with poison on the inside. She said she's going to release the poison in Willow so everyone can see how ugly she really is. Willow said the difference between them is she never had to convince anyone who she really is. She said all they know is Thekla's toxic act is all a facade. So Thekla basically told Willow that what she's doing, her personality, her character, the sunshine, the rainbows, the smiling, the chirping birds, the butterflies, is all fake. And Willow's rebuttal to Thekla is that Willow's badass demeanor and her attitude and this character that she plays is all fake. So we have a story here, or we have dialogue here, not really a story, between two women who are going back and forth and basically shot the same reason back at each other. You're fake. You're not real. You're fake. You're not real. It's all a facade. It's all fake. It's all a facade. It's not real. Is that what I'm hearing? Fantastic. How to get me to not give a shit about an obvious title change. She said she will expose Thekla She said she thinks she talks all big because she feels very small. She said she does have a swagger that has helped her win 2 belts. She said the AEW Women's title is the only one she cares about. Now I know why they gave Thekla another championship. That's because she's losing the one that she's been carrying for about 7 months now. They butted chests. They argued. Foley stepped between them. Foley said he sees a lot of himself in Willow. He says they were both champions on TBS and both have taken beatings and poundings. Whoa! Whoa! Tranquilo! Tranquilo! Poundings, Mick? Poundings? He said him and Willow took a lot of poundings. Okay. Tranquilo. Tranquilo. He said her smile has more teeth than his. How you know? Thekla told them to shut up. Willow told Thekla she's the one acting like a dumb bitch. Oh, man, now we're serious. We got the word bitch thrown around. Willow said she and Foley are both legends. And they both stop at nothing to get what they want. She said they have something in common, which is that at Redemption, they both have a lot to lose. She said she'll put all of her heart into this to be sure it's her. Thekla said she never thought she'd hear Willow say my line calling someone a dumb bitch. She said on Sunday, when she pisses on her clouds and rainbows, smile anyway. She took a cheap shot at Willow. Willow tried to get Thekla, but Thekla hid behind Foley. Thekla then got another cheap shot in on Willow with a microphone. Willow goes down. Thekla held up both of her belts. When she went after Willow inside the ring, Willow gave her a pounce. Thekla retreated, and that was the end of the segment. Did this match get more exciting for you, chat? No. No, not after Mick Foley said him and Willow took poundings, no. Now, they only sent Foley out there because of the Long Island connection to Willow. They are both from Long Island. He didn't really have any reason to be there. He didn't add anything to this. He will not add anything to this. I'm sure he'll be at Redemption in some pre-show panel capacity. Willow's going to win this match. Willow's going to be the new AEW Women's Champion. Fuck Thekla, I guess, which is why they gave her the Stardom title. And Willow's going to go on to defend that championship against Mercedes Moné at Wembley Stadium. They took Willow out of the tournament, faked an injury, took the TBS title off of her, put the TBS title on Hikaru Shida, which will do nothing for Shida because Shida is just as boring as they come. Willow faked an injury, was given the opportunity to be in the gauntlet, win the gauntlet, fight Thekla, win the title from Thekla, go to Wembley. That's the trade-off. We'll take you out of the Owen, make you the champion, transition it to Mercedes. Thanks for coming. Or they may not want to transition it to Mercedes. Mercedes may have a story of where she just genuinely doesn't win the big one. Why put the belt on Willow for 1 month to just take it off of her? Just to put it on Mercedes. Don't you think Willow is worth more than a 1-month reign? If she does win, which I'm assuming she will. The rumor was she was supposed to win the Owen. She was going to win the Owen. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Jay White. He's going one-on-one with Clark Connors. If you thought, chat, if you thought I legitimately sat, took notes, and watched anything regarding the dogs, oh my God, man. You guys gotta be kidding me. Me watch a dogs match? Get the fuck out of here, man. I love Jay White, don't get me wrong. I love Jay White. But man, Jay White just got back. Jay White already feels insignificant because he's in there with the most boring faction in the fucking company. Jay White wins in 10 minutes with a Hell's Gate or some version of a triangle choke. After the match was over, Jay White gave Clark Connors a Blade Runner when he tried to attack him. David Finlay ran in and hit Jay White in the face with the shillelagh. Oh, man. Oh, man. Everything's so great. We got a backstage promo with Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Copeland begins to speak. Claudio and Pac attack them. Pac and Claudio beat up Cope and Christian. Leave them laying. Pac said at the pay-per-view, they will show them what the Death Riders are capable of. Wow. Can someone explain to me again why the Young Bucks aren't getting a tag team title match? Oh, that's right. They're saving it for Wembley. Oh, okay. Does anybody have any plausible reason as to why Cope and Christian are defending the titles against the Death Riders in back-to-back weeks? No. What are the Death Riders? I mean, Jon Moxley was in the main event with two babyfaces. Yet Pac and Claudio here attacked two babyfaces. So I guess half of the Death Riders are babyface and half of the Death Rider, maybe the leader is a babyface and the rest of the group are heels? Fuck if I know. We got a women's tag team title match. And I'm struggling to figure out, Chad. I'm struggling to figure out which women's set of tag team titles are more worthless. Is the WWE women's tag team titles more worthless, or are the AEW women's tag team titles more worthless? Who exactly am I supposed to cheer for here if they're two heel teams? Aren't Sky Blue and Julia Hart a part of the Sisters of Sin, who are a heel team? Aren't Divine Dominion, Lena Cross, and Megan Bayne a heel team? Oh, I guess that doesn't matter to the sickos when you involve chairs and kendo sticks and you give me a plunder match for absolutely no reason. None of that matters. It's the sound of the kendo stick across somebody's flesh. That matters. That's the only thing that matters here. This match went 12 minutes. It felt like fucking 30 minutes. I don't know the reason for this match. I don't know why we got this match. So we'll pick it up at the end here. Sidekick from Sky Blue. Megan Bayne hits a big flying boot. Super kick from Julia. Super kick from Cross. Super kick everybody. Everybody's down. Megan Bayne and Lena, they get up. They go and grab the AEW Women's Tag Team titles. Julia Hart and Sky Blue grab their Artist of Stardom titles. Oh, man. Who gives a shit? Megan Bayne and Lena Cross miss. Julia and Sky Blue spike them with double DDTs. Bayne and Julia battle on the outside. Cross and Blue are up on the top rope. Sky Blue slid out with a kick. Blue goes to the apron, wants a superplex. Bayne chokeslams her off the apron through a table at ringside. Julia's back in. She gets the Black Widow submission on Megan Bayne in the middle of the ring. She powers up, swings Julia in position for a tombstone. Lena Cross and Megan Bayne deliver the From Heaven to Hell choke slam. Their finish for the 1, 2, 3. Wow. Did anybody expect Divine Dominion to lose the tag team championships when you got the Brawling Birds just waiting for Redemption to finish so they can build their tag team title match at Wembley Stadium? Promo backstage with Juice, Hard Rock, or Rock Hard, Juice Robinson, Jay White, Ace Austin, and the Guns reacting to the Dogs. Juice and White challenge the Dogs to a double chain tag team match. A double chain tag team match at Redemption. Jay White says they'll make a man out of David Finlay at Redemption and give you the beating your father should have given you. I know what match I'm skipping. Looking at the chat here. Chat, we got 4 more super chats to go to reach the goal, and we got 9 minutes to do it. 9 minutes to do it. Otherwise, no wheel. Otherwise, no wheel. 9 more minutes, 4 more super chats, meet the goal, we spin the wheel. If not, no wheel. Main event. Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley, who I guess is a babyface because he's teaming with Ospreay and Omega, right? Against the Don Callis Family benchwarmers. Brian Cage, Jake Doyle, and Hechicero. Renee was at ringside doing a Sports Center-like courtside report. She said she asked him how he's feeling physically, Omega, and mentally going into Redemption. She said that he said the champ's job is never done. Riveting journalism here. This match goes 15 minutes. I would be shocked if I maybe watched 2 minutes of this, which was basically the ending. Who gives a fuck? This is the problem with pro wrestling. Everything is just super fucking lame and super predictable. It is not even enjoyable. I don't want to watch a match with people like this against Brian Cage, Hechicero, and fucking Jake Doyle. If Tony didn't book in fucking tiers, he got rid of the ranking system because he books in tiers. Guys like Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay, they could never lose to someone the likes of Hechicero, Brian Cage, or Jake Doyle. They can only be in the ring and lose to someone that is of equal value to them. He books in tiers. It's ridiculous. He would never put, the reason why he didn't put Kenny Omega and Okada in the main event of Redemption is because he books in tiers. There's certain people at one level that stay there and they can't lose. And then he's got everybody else lower than that, like Kevin Knight, he's in a second tier or a third tier, so he puts him in a match with Kenny Omega because Tony Khan could give Kevin Knight a loss, and it doesn't mean anything to him. He would never put a Swerve Strickland in that spot, or an Okada, or a Kyle Fletcher, or someone of that status. This is the way he books. This is Matchmaker Tony Khan, not storyteller Tony Khan. Hechicero hits a flying guillotine for a near fall. Brian Cage and Hechicero fling Omega into Jake Doyle. Big offensive move, cover, near fall. Moxley takes Hechicero off the top rope. Omega and Ospreay make a comeback. There was a point where Ospreay made a hot tag, and he was contemplating, do I tag Moxley? Do I tag Omega? Do I tag Moxley? Do I tag Omega? He ended up tagging Omega. Ospreay hits a hidden blade. Omega comes in, hits a V-trigger on Hechicero. Omega scores the 1-2-3. Omega, Ospreay, Moxley win in 15 minutes. Ospreay and Moxley won despite friendly fire. Moxley got in Omega's face afterwards. As Omega says, it was inadvertent. There was a point in the match where things kind of broke down. Moxley ends up shoving Omega. Omega shoved back. Ospreay got in between them. Omega knocked Ospreay down because he was so mad that Moxley shoved him. Ospreay popped up. He got in Omega's face. The Young Bucks then run out to the ring. Apparently the Bucks, according to commentary, don't trust the Death Riders, clearly. They went after Moxley. So they heel? What are they? So they went after Moxley and Ospreay. They start brawling, giving us a last-ditch effort to sell their match at the pay-per-view. You'd never know that they were wrestling up until this point in the show. Omega clears the ring. Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero, whatever they wrestled the bench warmers, whatever these two guys, I guess they're the water boys of the Don Callis family. I don't know. They're out there. They get taken out. A couple of snap German suplexes. V-triggers. Kevin Knight intercepted Omega and hit him with the TNT title belt, busting him open. So the show goes off the air, Kevin Knight holding up both the TNT title and the AEW World Championship. So we got Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay, and Jon Moxley tag team tonight having tension after they won, because of whatever happened in the match, and Omega's mad at Moxley, and Moxley's mad at Omega. And then on the same show, we got Kyle Fletcher, who's angry at Okada, who he feels cost them the match against Brody. So we had two tag team matches tonight, two teams with tensions, and two teams yelling at each other over what happened and what transpired in the match. This was the go-home show for Redemption. So what we got for Redemption is as follows. They added tonight a tag team double chains match with the Dogs versus the Bang Bang Gang. And apparently we got a ladder match at the pay-per-view not taking place, which apparently will be a number one contenders match for the International Championship. A ladder match. Tony Khan added a ladder match to Redemption because he knows he needs to sell tickets and he knows he needs to generate interest in a very quick fashion for a dead show. Oh, I know how to do that. Let's add more plunder. Let's add more stipulations. Jack Perry, El Clone, Speedball Mike Bailey are already in this match, and there will be two qualifying matches for two other participants to earn entry into this ladder match. Fantastic. So those are two matches. Jericho versus Tommaso Ciampa, no holds barred. Or the Painmaker, I should say, versus Tommaso Ciampa, no holds barred. Ospreay and Moxley versus the Young Bucks. Andrade versus Mark Davis for the National Championship. Maya World versus Hikaru Shida for the TBS Championship. Bandito versus Kyle Fletcher for the International Championship. Cage and Cope versus Claudio and Pac for the Tag Team Championships. Thekla versus Willow for the AEW Women's Championship. And Kevin Knight versus Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. 10 matches. 10 matches. You do realize that we were fine with just 8, right? So he moves this pay-per-view up from 8 to 7 Eastern. Only by the looks of it to have this show go off the air at the same time, an 8 p.m. pay-per-view would go off the air. I am telling you right now. If this show goes past midnight, I am not streaming. I am canceling the stream. Legitimately. I can't do it. There's legitimately nothing on this show worth a fucking... It's not worth anything. It's not even worth me illegally pirating the stream. Which is more than likely what I'll end up doing. This show sucks. The company is in a downswing of momentum. 2 steps forward, beach break, 7 steps backwards. This card is absolutely a fucking waste of time, and you're paying for a glorified AEW collision taping on pay-per-view from the Bell Center in Montreal, where they barely have 6,000 tickets out the door in a 19,000-seat arena. But everything's great. No, it ain't. We hit the goal. We hit the goal. You guys, look at you fucking guys, man. Oh my goodness. You guys are awesome, man. We hit the goal and we are going to spin the wheel here tonight on the AEW Dynamite post show. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the great content on the channel. We were live on Monday for the Raw post show. We were live on the 2 Count with Jonathan Coachman. That's over on his channel. I was live last night with the Solid Monster on Tuesday Night Titans, episode 156. Some good stuff on that show, man. Go check that out. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Sign up. Sign up. We'll be reviewing Shawn Michaels and Triple H from the SummerSlam 2022 Unsanctioned. My favorite match from that show, arguably the best SummerSlam of all time. There'll be a live Q&A as well, or a pre-taped Q&A. You guys are going to ask whatever you want over on Patreon. It is free to join as well. If you guys want to get a little sneak peek of what we do over there, you guys can vote in the polls. You guys can ask the questions for the Q&As. So go on over there. Go on over there. Hit that thumbs up down below. Let's try for 750 likes. We need another 200 or so. And Super Chats will remain open. Anybody that gets in a $10 or more Super Chat, you will be added to the wheel. And you will get an additional spot on the wheel. So if you guys want to keep them coming, if you're interested in getting some cool merch, off the script baseball bat, beer mug. Quality shit here, man. We don't skimp on the quality here. And an OTS hat. There you go. $10 or more. Depending on what you Super Chat, $10 will get you your one spot plus an additional spot. If you want to do 20, you'll get 2 spots and an additional spot, so on and so forth. Let's get to the wheel. Let's get to the wheel. We got the wheel, right? Yeah, the wheel's up. The wheel is up. Oh yeah. All right, man. Let me delete these names. This was from Monday. Don Stoney should have his merch arrive this week. We just mailed out Don Stoney. Don Stoney came in late. Had a big win on Monday. Was Don Stoney. I'll start at the top here. Michael Krause with the $2 super chat. JD OTS. How you know? Join the tap room. Let's go. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Caden with a $1.99 no message. Thank you, Caden. Isaac with the 19 months. JD, thank you for everything you do. I went through a breakup today, and it ended over text. This show was honestly something that helped me through some tough times. Well, if it ended over text, bro, honestly, fuck that person. Too much of a coward to do it face to face. Such a cold way to do things, man. Give me a break. We're here for you, Isaac. You got a great group of people here, man. Tone with a $5 super chat. I'm just a dreamer. I dream my life away. I'm just a dreamer. I dream of better days of wrestling. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Can't believe it's been a year. It's been a year already? Oh, my God. Has it really been a year? That is crazy. Man, it feels like it was like fucking a month ago. Thank you, Tone. James Gender with 16 months. Is Thekla the only interesting thing going on AEW? I mean, probably, yeah. Probably. I won't even say interesting. Whatever they got her doing is not interesting. Is she the most entertaining? Yes. I think we word it as Thekla is the most entertaining thing on AEW. Side of the hand with a $1.99. Since Janelle Grant case is dropped, will VKM return? Well, Coach said on yesterday's 2 count that Vince isn't doing good health-wise. I don't know what that means. I personally think we will see Vince McMahon back in some capacity. Whether that's an on-air role, Hall of Fame induction. I mean, it already feels like he's like back and creative with what we're getting. Honestly. It's that bad. Glow J with 17 months. Happy birthday, Jesse and Jasmine. Hi, JD. You, Jesse, and Salamonster are my husband and my family. Love you guys. Sending you a nice big gift at Christmas. Oh, boy. Glow J. Thank you, Glow J. We love having Glow J in the chat. Richard Cohn with a 16 months. Hey, JD, how are you doing? Yes, I can't talk about wrestling. Both companies suck. I'm so bored with wrestling. I watch you every week. Me and my wife love you. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that, Richard. Shout out to you and the wife. My guy, Marco Beantown with a $19.99. He's on the wheel. Beantown is on the wheel. Three times, Beantown. Hey, JD, if the direction is Willow winning the title at Redemption to face Monet at All In, wouldn't the bigger match be Thekla versus Monet? Or not, because Tony doesn't want a heel versus heel match? What does Thekla do at All In? Brother, you're asking questions that I don't even think Tony Khan has an answer to. In that arena, in that stadium, with that crowd, I don't really think it matters with Monet and Thekla. But I would much rather see a heel versus babyface dynamic. Which is why I think Willow's going to win the title on Sunday. Thank you for the 20, brother. Mid-range with a $2.99. JD, I grade this show a C. Please don't fire me. A C? This show was an F. There's nothing redeeming about this show in any meaningful way. My guy, Midmo Smark with 59 months. I've been at an earshot for quite a while due to the terms of life, but I am OTS for life and love this community. AEW needs to follow a different format. Brother, they need a new format. They need a new head of creative. They need a writing team. They need a lot. Thank you for being here for 59 months, bro. The Mother Lover 1776. He's got 3 spots on the wheel, the Mother Lover. Look at this guy. He's looking to get some of his own redemption on the wheel. Creative logic for AEW and WWE heading into their biggest shows of the year. Hey, brother, want a title match, brother? Gee, thanks, brother. Let me hold hands and kiss, brother. As always, JD. Oh my God, everything's great. Mother Lover's got another one. $9.99, 3 matches, 10 matches in 2 weeks. Yeah, not buying this garbage. The main event isn't even enough for $50, along with boring matches that have no reason for being on a pay-per-view card. So disappointing, bro. I ain't spending $50. I'll watch it through other means. Also, the only redemption is me winning this wheel, JD. See, I know. Mother Lover's looking for his redemption. My guy, Midmo Smark with a $20 super chat. Midmo Smark. He's looking to steal the wheel tonight. 3 spots for Midmo Smark. AEW needs a high-stakes, gimmicky Road to All In final show like WWE has their Road to. A match that is meant to throw people. It's the best way to keep obvious bullshit like this from happening this late in the game. I agree. I don't think, honestly, bro, I don't think they are capable of doing such a show that yields such a result. Phil with a $9.99. So Phil is on the wheel. He's looking for his redemption too. Phil's looking for his redemption tonight. That's 3 spots on the wheel for Phil. I have no idea how anybody could be excited for redemption. This show had no business being on the air considering it did nothing to hype the pay-per-view. Did you see the match announced on Twitter? Yeah, I did. The in-ring aspect is never the issue. We get matches and then we move to the next. Why does that match matter if there's no story to go along with it? Is it a foreign language to these sickos or what? Bro, they don't know. They are manipulated and brainwashed that this is where the best wrestle. Nothing matters but the graps, and story is unimportant. None of them realize that the story is the most important thing on the entire show. Dingleberry with a $5 super chat came for the best of the best, and you got it, brother. You got it. James Gender with a $9.99. James, thank you for the super chat. And James has 2 spots on the wheel tonight. Because that's what we do. Hopefully this helps with the wheel for tonight. If so, 3 more to go. I guess I'll save my 50 and watch Game of Thrones on Sunday night. There you go. There you go. Sounds better than fucking redemption. Dingleberry with a 5. What would make wrestling exciting again? Have we seen it all at this point? I don't know. Emotional storytelling? Something that keeps me interested and excited on a week-to-week basis? Instead of watching this show with my fucking head buried in my phone for 2 hours, praying that it's over? MGM Ballin'! He's got 2 spots on the wheel, my guy MGM Ballin'. He's looking for fucking redemption himself, man. He wants to win this wheel. He's got 2 spots on the wheel here. I normally find myself enjoying AEW pay-per-views more than I anticipated. This one's going to take a miracle to do that. Yeah. Midmo Smart gets another one. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Bolin. Yeah, it's going to take... listen, bro, I urge people, do not waste your money on this. Do not give this company your $50. Midmo Smart gets another spot on the wheel just because I want to see the wheel. LFG OTS for life. Thank you, Midmo. Lloyd Witt. Lloyd gets 2 spots on the wheel because that's what Lloyd Witt does. AEW is boring, says Lloyd Witt. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Boring. Dingleberry gets 2 spots on the wheel. Dingleberry 77. For the game is what Dingleberry says. Yep. What game? AEW's playing a very terrible game right now. Phil, you got another spot on the wheel, brother. We've seen way too many can they coexist tag team matches lately. 3 in 10 days. Saturday night's main event, Raw, and tonight. Do they all meet and copy their booking decisions like a bully cheating off their victims' tests? Yeah. Can they coexist, pal? Yep. That's exactly what they do. My guy Don Stoney with a $5 super chat. Shout out to Don Tony Wrestling Soup Spitball Media. And as always, rest in peace, Kevin Castle. Absolutely. Thank you, Don Stoney. We love Don Stoney. Look out for that package in the next couple of days, brother. Triple M. He's got 2 spots on the wheel. I'm pulling for my guy Triple M to win the wheel. Bro, I'm using the hierarchy of needs damage glitch in everything I do, man. It's my preferred class setup of choice nowadays. That with the pulse, the rocket pulse, and my machine gun. Triple M says John Cena's a horrible promo. He's either a politician or sounds unbelievable, and he's constipated. He also couldn't wrestle. He's trash. Anyways, I'll join the wheel. I wouldn't say he's a horrible promo, bro, but I don't think he's on like the Mount Rushmore of best promos of all time. He's a great promo, but he's not better than a Punk or a Rock or a Flair or an Austin. No. Yeah. Yeah, team of people using it, yeah. Sean with a $4.99. Love how they tried to force tension between Moxley, Ospreay, and Omega. It was so bad. Ospreay was a fun babyface before this bad Mox angle. B-show. You're the man, J. A B-show. Bro, this is a fucking F show. You the man, JD. Thank you, Sean. Bossman Jackson with a $1.99. Are my 2 $10 super chats from Tuesday added? Nothing from Tuesday's added, brother. Nothing from Tuesday's added. I didn't mention anything about Tuesday's super chats being added. Tuesday's super chats were Tuesday's super chats. AJ Body with a $4.99. AEW is lost potential and they fail to use it. They will always continue to fail, and they always have been spiraling since the first Wembley in 23. Yeah. Yeah, they have a ton of potential, and they build some goodwill, they build some momentum, and then they just waste it all. It's typical AEW. Terrible, terrible, terrible company that doesn't know how to follow up on anything. It's 1 entry for every $10, Midmo, but now that you guys made the goal, you get an extra spot on the wheel, so everybody gets an additional spot on the wheel. Mark Carpenter. We get Mark with a $10 super chat. Thank you, Mark. He's got 2 spots on the wheel tonight. Thank you, Mark. Don't give up on the Braves. Austin Riley coming for redemption. Yeah, I mean, they took 3 out of 4 from San Diego, bro. San Diego fucking notoriously owns the Braves, but they took 3 out of 4. We may slowly be getting back to winning form here. AJ Body with a $4.99. JD, I've been watching you since June of 2018, since I was 15 to this very day. Thank you for all the entertainment over the years. Thank you, AJ. I appreciate you, brother. And the Mother Lover with a $9.99. He wants to win this wheel, and he's got himself another spot on the wheel. Just because I want to win the wheel, he says. Also, not going to lie, would have been nice to be Austin Theory this week if you catch my drift. Yeah. Yeah. And we got Prize Entertainment. AEW's complete trash as a company. Top to bottom. Tough to argue, brother. Tough to argue. Boss Mo Jackson gets himself on the wheel tonight. 2 spots for Boss Mo Jackson. Here's my slot on the wheel. OTS for life. We love you, JD. 3 thumbs up. Well, thank you for being here, man. We appreciate you very, very much. All right. Everybody's on the wheel. It's a small wheel tonight. It's anybody's ball game. It's anybody's ball game. We shuffled. Let's spin it. Who's it gonna be? Mother Lover, no! Oh my God, Dingleberry with the pull out of the century. Oh my goodness, Dingleberry 77. We got a winner tonight in Dingleberry. Dingleberry, you got to reach out to me at some point. Twitter, Instagram, my DMs and messages on Instagram are open, so reach out to me. Email. Oh, my God. Mother Lover, what do we got to do to get you a fucking win, bro? What do we got to do to get this guy a win? Ah, Dark One, you came in late. All right, Dark One, I'll put you on Friday's wheel 2 slots, brother. I'll put you on Friday's wheel 2 slots. I know I bug you about The Sopranos, but I can entice you with a profile on my HBO Max account. Bro, I have HBO Max. I have HBO Max. I signed up to watch Game of Thrones and Sopranos specifically. I'm not wasting money. Even though it's a discount on HBO Max to watch the pay-per-view, I'm still not giving them $40. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. We're about to get out of here. Appreciate you guys and all that you do for the channel, man. You guys are excellent. Shit sucked tonight. I don't know what else to tell you. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you go check out all the content on the channel. Plenty of it. If there's any news worth talking about, you'll see me in the sub boxes. If not, you'll see me live on Friday for SmackDown. What's going to happen next with CM Punk and Cody Rhodes? That's what we got coming up on Friday. Hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of tonight's Dynamite. I'd love to hear what you thought. If you agree, don't agree with what I had to say. And Redemption this weekend, man. I urge you, do not give them your money. It is not worth the price of admission. I'll see you guys on Friday back here after SmackDown on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.